I booked an Airbnb, and someone else was already staying in it. The lockbox code worked. The key turned. The door opened. Everything was fine, right up until I noticed someone else's food still warm in the fridge. So I never really talk about this. I told my coworker Preetham once, and he kind of laughed it off like it was a funny travel story. It's not. It still bothers me when I think about it too long. It was a Thursday. I drove up from Indianapolis like 4 hours, maybe a little more because of construction outside Merrillville, and I had a conference starting Friday morning at the Marriott on Michigan Avenue. I'd booked a place on Airbnb instead of the hotel because I always do that. Saves money. I had one duffel bag and a 12-pack of Modelo I planned on getting halfway through alone while watching whatever was on cable. The listing was a ground floor unit in a 3-flat on North Damon Avenue in Wicker Park. Nice photos. 94% approval. The host, listed as Cormac, had been on the platform since 2019. Seemed fine, normal. I parked on the street, found the lockbox, punched in the code. It opened first try. That part was normal. I walked in and hit the lights and just stood there for a second. The place didn't look like a rental. It looked like someone's apartment. Not messy exactly, but lived in. Like someone had just stepped out for a bit. There was a Chicago Tribune folded open on the kitchen counter, crossword half done. A hoodie draped over the back of a chair. I opened the fridge. I don't even know why. Habit, I guess. And there was a half-eaten container of Portillo's beef and cheddar sitting in there. Still looked fresh. I called Cormac. He picked up fast, which surprised me. I told him the place seemed like someone was already there, and he went quiet for just a second, and then said, very clearly, nobody should be there. I'm sorry. Let me figure this out. He didn't sound panicked, just surprised. I believed him. I put my duffel on the floor near the door and sat on the couch and checked my phone. Around 1:17 a.m., I know the exact time because I screenshotted a tweet right before it happened. I heard the back door open. Not a knock, just the sound of a key, then the door, then footsteps. A man walked into the kitchen. Mid-40s, maybe. Gray sweatpants. A North Face from like 2012. A plastic bag from a Walgreens. He stopped when he saw me. I stood up. We just looked at each other. He didn't scream. I didn't scream. Nobody did anything for what felt like a very long time. He said, I'm staying here. Not aggressive, just confused. Like he'd walked into the wrong room at a party and was trying to figure out where he was. I told him I booked the place on Airbnb. He didn't really react to that. Just kept blinking. I noticed the orange prescription bottle on the bathroom counter. I'd clocked it earlier and hadn't thought much of it. And something about the whole scene started clicking in a way I didn't want it to. We sat in the living room for almost 20 minutes. He told me his name was Osvaldo. He said his brother set this up for him. He didn't say more than that. I wasn't going to push it. Cormac showed up around 1:45, and that's when it all came out. Cormac managed 3 Airbnb listings in the city. Osvaldo, his estranged brother, had been discharged from a psychiatric facility 4 months earlier. No stable housing. So Cormac had been rotating him through the listings, timing it around the bookings, moving him before guests arrived, using the gap days as a place for Osvaldo to sleep, eat, exist. The rotation had slipped. That was the whole explanation. A scheduling mistake. Cormac relocated me to a Hampton Inn near the Loop. Paid for it. Apologized 12 times. I sat in the back of his car and didn't say much. Here's the thing I can't shake. Before we left, Osvaldo asked Cormac something quietly in the kitchen. I heard part of it. He asked if he'd done something wrong. Cormac told him no, and Osvaldo just nodded, like that was enough. He had no idea. 4 months. 3 apartments. Strangers' bookings shuffling around him like weather, and he just thought he was staying at family's place. I don't know what happened to him after that. I never looked it up. I kind of don't want to know.